Good morning, everyone. Today is e-learning day. For social studies, I have invited a few people from overseas to talk about their views on today's topic, racial discrimination in Sri Lanka. Just a little bit of the background about the conflict between the Tamils and the Sinhalese. They have existed in Sri Lanka since 1948. The Tamils feel that the Sinhalese dominated government has been unfair to them in various ways. At first, the Tamils made peaceful demands for fairer treatment by the government. By 1970s, when their demands had still not been met, a Tamil political party called for the creation of a separate Tamil state, known as Tamil Eelam. Its militant group, the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, more popularly known as Tamil Tigers, resorted to violence to achieve its aims. Today, let's hear the views of some people about the racial discrimination in Sri Lanka. First, we have Ms. Kanti Rodrigo, a Sinhalese from Sri Lanka, to express her views about the Tamils in Sri Lanka itself.
Thank you, Mr. Lim, for inviting me to this discussion. You see, the LTTE terrorists complain that the Tamils have been treated unfairly. This is no longer true. They say they have been the victims of discrimination in university education, employment, and in other matters controlled by the government. But most of their demands were met long ago. Discrimination exists in every society, but in Sri Lanka, it is less serious than in some countries. It certainly does not give them the right to kill people. The Tamils do not need to be freed by a group of terrorists. Discrimination is not the real reason for terrorism. It is just an excuse.
Thank you, Ms. Kanti. Now we have Ms. Mali Aryani, another Sinhalese from Sri Lanka, to express her views about the racial discrimination in Sri Lanka.
Thank you, Mr. Lin, for giving me this opportunity to express my feelings towards the Tamil in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka here, the only happiness the Tamil enjoy is in the government's control areas. This is not a war to end discrimination against the minority. It is just a war created by the Tamil Tigers' desire for power. It is the duty of all persons, especially the Tamils, to oppose the terrorists who destroy thousands of innocent children.
Thank you, Ms. Mali. Now we have Mr. Dulip Kanapola, a Sri Lankan Tamil living in Australia, to express his views about racial discrimination.
Thank you, Mr. Lim. Dear everyone, please listen carefully. Sri Lanka has around 80% Sinhalese and 20% Tamils. But if you look at the statistics, it shows that Sri Lanka military has less than 1% Tamils. It shows there is a serious problem in the way the country is governed. Imagine living in your own country where you can't speak your mother language at your local police station. The government should also spend money on training programs to get Tamil teenagers into the workforce.
Thank you, Mr. Dulip. Now we have Ms. Paul from the World Human Rights Organization expressing her views on the university admission in Sri Lanka. What she has said has been reported in CNN News in 1981.
Thank you, Mr. Lim, for inviting me to this discussion. Let me tell you what I said about racial discrimination in Sri Lanka in the CNN News in 1981. University places should be awarded by ability, not race. Tamils and Sinhalese will then have equal rights to university education. A major cause of tension among many Tamil youths has been the limit placed on university places for them. This has prevented many Tamil youths from entering university.
Thank you everyone for coming all the way to BT Secondary School to share your views. Now, dear students, hope you have a better understanding on the racial discrimination in Sri Lanka. Now, I want you to look at the questions and answer them based on what you have heard. Thank you. See you soon in class.